And welcome back as we continue our journey through the book of Acts. Today we finish our story in Acts 25. Well, we finish a chapter at least. And so we see that there's great pomp and circumstance as Paul is now allowed to have audience with King Agrippa and Bernice, who some believe is his sister, also someone he has a relationship with. That's a different story. But for our purposes today, we're focused on Paul. So we're going to read verses 24 through 27. We're going to read a portion of scripture, pull out a timeless truth, dive in. And Festus said, King Agrippa, and all who are present with us, you see this man about whom the whole Jewish people petitioned me, both in Jerusalem and here, shouting that he ought not to live any longer. But I found that he had done nothing deserving of death. And as he himself appealed to the emperor, I decided to go ahead and send him. But I have nothing definite to write to my lord about him. Therefore, I have brought him before you all, and especially before you, King Agrippa, so that after we have examined him, I may have something to write. For it seems to me unreasonable in sending a prisoner not to indicate the charges against him. What began as Agrippa's curiosity to hear Paul's story quickly grew into a full spectacle. Instead of a private hearing, an unknown number of prominent leaders gathered not simply to listen to Paul's story, but to scrutinize every word Paul spoke. Their aim was not justice, but to see if they could uncover even the smallest reason to condemn him to death or justify him being sent to Caesar. The pressure in that room must have felt immense. Every eye was fixed on Paul, every ear straining to catch a phrase that could be twisted against him. For Paul, this was not just an audience, it was a trial by public opinion, with his very life hanging in the balance. In the same way, there will be moments in our lives when people watch us closely, waiting for us to stumble or to compromise. It may be in the workplace, within our families, or even among friends who quietly test the consistency of our faith. The pressure to please others or to protect our reputation can feel very overwhelming. But these moments are opportunities to remember where our true allegiance lies. We're not called to live for the shifting opinions of the crowd, which rise and fall with every word we say or decision that we make. Instead, we live for the steady approval of God, whose eyes see beyond appearances and into the heart. When we anchor ourselves in His truth, He gives us the strength to stand firm with integrity, even when it costs us comfort or even recognition. The applause of people may fade quickly, but the quiet assurance of God's delight will sustain us and keep us faithful. And so, church, I just want to encourage you today. And I want to ask you this do you feel like you have any insecurity of sharing your testimony today? Do you feel as if you can't share that one encouraging note from the Word on your social media because maybe you'll lose friends? My heart is that you would surrender that to God. Surrender the insecurities. And that you would take courage and that you would hold fast to your identity and your worth and your value and who God is. And that you would live for the approval of one, knowing that you too do not need to be ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power that breaks the powers of sin and death, that it gives true life and true freedom. Don't be ashamed of that. Don't be ashamed of being that messenger. Don't be ashamed of living and walking in that identity. What's holding you up? Surrender it to God. God bless.